Charme, peace and freedom, welcome. Decided I would see what the quality of going live directly on YouTube would be because, quite frankly, the quality on Restream was horrible, absolutely horrible. I said, what am I paying this money for? And so um, I decided, let me try this way. Hoping everybody had a really wonderful day. Sorry I didn't get to you yesterday because, like I said, I was trying to decide what to do about the stream. So today is a full moon, and share that I'm on via Facebook. Oh, wonderful! Thanks. It's really good to see you. Well, let's see how this format works. Let's see who comes on live this way. Let's see what the quality is like. How does it look? How's the screen look? What's the quality like? This is directly through my phone. So I've decided what I'm going to do from now on is just directly use my camera, what I'm used to doing, because I'm used to better quality. And you get better quality how? Just going through the camera and then just uploading. That's the best way to do it. So anyway, life. Talking about life. So we have the life that flows through the bottom part of the Ankh, which is the symbol of vibration, which reminds us of the Hapi or the Nile River, and it flows into the land, which is the crossbar here, and then we have the loop here that reminds us of the sun. This reminds us of the victory of life over death. And so we look at this and we think of the term resurrection, which is neches. It also means to awaken. Now, the great question is, what is it that you do with your life? Is it one that's a place of stagnation because we think of the water here? And water is supposed to be vibrant. Your life is supposed to be vibrant. Is it flowing? Is it moving? Is it one that is joyous? Is it one that's reflective? Is it one where you can look in and see yourself? Is it a mirror? Is it one that's turbulent? Uh, is it peaceful? Is it are the currents moving? What state is it right now? If you were to stop and think right now, um, Kim Sarana Feratum, it's good to see you too. Give thanks and praise. If you were to stop and think right now of the current state of the waters of your life, how would you describe them? And so this part here, the land, represents you and your body. Now I know that the very simple explanation of what the Ankh is, okay, this is the male principle, and this also is the male and female principle. Some say that these represent the fallopian tubes. Some say this represents, the male principle. And then this is the womb. That's a very, very rudimentary explanation. And okay, it's correct, but there are multiple reasons and multiple explanations when it comes down to Kemetic principles. And the deeper that you go in the teachings, then you come to see that there are many reasons and understandings of what Kemetic symbolism is about. And the more you open yourself up to the teachings, the more you come to understand that there are multiple understandings. There are multiple reasonings. And so even this is not even the deepest understanding of this symbol. But let's go in deeper with this. So what are the waters like in your life? Now again, Shanu is a Kemetic per Ankh. and actually we're going back into being a mystery school where there are multiple levels. And this is not a 1 or 2 year study per Ankh. This group that I'm graduating this year, this will be the last one where you will be able to study for 2 years and get a title. From here on out, it is going to be degrees, 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 degrees. The um, the Masonic system replicates the way that it was in the Kemetic temples where you had all of these degrees and where you had to study for a long time. And so they got it right. I mean, you had to really stay in for a long time and get the teachings. And the ones who ended up becoming high priests ended up staying in the temple. Now, if you were a novice priest and you came in and you ended up becoming a way priest or one who learned about the rudimentary teachings and learned about purifications and cleansings, then you were allowed to go home after a certain period, but then you had to return. But the higher you went, the more you were committed to just staying there in the temple. You couldn't go home. The temple was your home, okay? And um, so I'm not saying that you are not allowed to go home if you join this temple, but I'm saying that the idea is that you commit yourself to the teachings, and there are so many levels. I mean, you have different aspects of water that you must learn, and all the ins and outs of them. And um, so anyway, so with the Ankh, look at your life right now. What state of water would you say that you are in right now? Think of all the forms of water. There's steam, there's dew, there's mist. Where are you? There's stagnation. Think of the kinds of water. There are ponds, lakes, rivers. Is your riverbed dry? Is it flowing? Is it overflowing? Is it abundant? Is it teeming with wildlife? Is nothing happening? What is life like for you? And what do you need if you feel that you're in a place of stagnation to get your life flowing again so that you're able to feed your land, your body, your earth, as it is said in the Five Percenters? What is it? What is it? What is necessary to get yourself to a place of wholeness and joy and abundance so that your life is the best that it can be? The term Reki Im Ebi, I know myself, means that you understand why you're in the state that you're in. I've been talking a lot in the recent weeks about trauma and how we kind of slough trauma off to the side. We don't really deal directly with it in the way that we should because we find things to distract us, or we make excuses, or we run from one thing to another without really understanding why we are the way we are and why we do what we do. We find that achievement can be a distraction, and we feel that achievement will be the thing that will make us feel better, and then we achieve what we think we get to, and then we find that we're still dealing with elements in our lives that are not really fulfilling because we're still not at the root of why we are doing what we're doing. So, as especially if we come from people who are high achievers, or even we can come from people who have not achieved anything. Maybe you're the first person in your family who has really made a mark, and maybe you were pushed into that because you're a family that came from nothing, or maybe your family saw something in you that made them say, hey, you're the one. You need to be the one. And because your family loved you, and they believed so much in you that they hung all their hopes on you, and maybe there was a certain amount of pressure that went along with that, or maybe there was some guilt because of some family incident that happened, and so they pushed you to become the achiever. In the meantime, you had all these other feelings about wanting to become something else. Or there was this great big incident and they never really dealt with what happened to you. And the remedy was, well, we'll make you the achiever. And in the meantime, you're way down the road years later and you never got to deal with what the issue was. Yet you've got all these plaques up on the wall, you've got all these platitudes, you've got this big income, but you feel empty and you have pain. And people don't understand why. After all, you're the achiever. You don't understand. Reki em ebi. I know myself. Do you really know yourself? You sign up for another class. You go take Zumba. You go take yoga. You go on another trip. And another. And another. You sign up for a cultural class, or maybe you decide you're going to go get initiated in something, or somebody tells you, oh well, you need to go get initiated in something, that's what's missing in you. Then you go get initiated in something, you become a priest or priestess of whatever, and you get that. Somehow you still feel empty because you still have not addressed that thing. And people still make it seem as though it's you. You're not doing such and such right. Well, wait until you get such and such a degree. Well, you're not meditating enough. Meditate some more. Maybe it's because you're holding the family secret. How many of you can resonate with what I'm saying? Always running from this thing because in truth, you think you know yourself, but you don't because you're not dealing with yourself. Water is a reflection. It's a mirror. We are comprised of 70, some say 90% water. It is here to help us get in touch with who we are. It is your mirror. So what state are you in right now? What is the water that is within you, within your body, saying? Now look at the Ankh. The Ankh is supposed to represent your body. Ideally, when people get their Ankhs made, it's supposed to be in alignment with what your body measurements are. Doesn't always work out that way, actually. It doesn't. Ms. Renee Brown, it's good to see you. Oh, and Daddy, it's good to see you. It's been a while. But the Ankh is you. I remember Grandmaster telling me when I took a group down to Sapelo, Georgia, and this is the first time that we had a craftsman who specifically made Ankhs, or Anku was the plural, for our temple. And I asked him who the craftsman was for the Shrine of Khepra, because that's who I'm initiated through. And so we were under the umbrella of the Shrine of Khepra. And he said to me before we left, he said, now, Queen Mother, remember, ultimately, you are the Ankh. You see, it's not about having the tool. You are the tool. And I came to find out that was true. You are the healing instrument. It's you. I mean, this is a tabletop Ankh. having the healing tool itself, it's nice, it's wonderful, and you have to know what to do with it. I found there are a lot of people who earn their unks, they go and get it crafted, but they don't know what to do with it. I teach what to do with it as a healing tool. My mentor taught me how to use Atlantean paddles. That's a whole other thing, and they are really quite something. You know that she had a specially made design and all of this that was inspired, given the inspiration was given to her, a recreation of what supposedly was used in Atlantis, and it's far more complicated than an Ankh. But we were trained in how to use the Atlantean paddle, and therefore and thereafter trained in how to use an Ankh or Ankhs as healing tools. So I pass that on to my students, because the fact that they learn healing techniques as well. So not everybody learns that though. People just get one and it just becomes a big old hunk of jewelry that they carry around. I teach my students, my initiates, that they have purpose and here's what you do with it. Okay? So, but if you don't have it, still you learn that you yourself can attune and align yourself so that you are able to do healing work even without the instrument in your hand. And it's quite amazing, really quite amazing. So ultimately, you yourself, if you cleanse yourself and if you know what to do with your hands and with the energy, um, you're the Ankh. hmm But bottom line, what is your life like? What is your life? What do you want to do with your life? The term Nehest means awaken. The term also means resurrection. We've been talking about this week of awakening and resurrection. And what does that mean to you? The fact that you can just shift your mind, shift your consciousness, and wake up to a new way of acting in the world, a new mindset of believing, and that you can have a whole new life. If you choose to live that way, if you choose to be that way, it's your choice. So, Capri. Capri means transformation, but it also means miracle. That's something I constantly reinforce. And Capri, if you look at it, it looks like the top of the brain cavity, the skull. So it is all about changing your mind. All right. Once you change your mind, that is resurrection right there. That is awakening. So I've also been talking about the importance of being honest with yourself and having truth. So, where are you in this process of this week? Now, tomorrow, I'll be talking about the resurrection story that we know so well in our tradition about Asar, Aset, Satesh, Nebuchadnezzar, and the nephew Heru, the son Heru, and how they apply to us. But you know, we're so many of us are so familiar with the story, but there are so many nuances to the story that people just don't seem to be aware of. And hold on just a moment here. By the way, what is the what how's it looking right now? Is it clear? How's it looking? A little feedback, please. Everything's good? Is it clear? It's focused. Brandon, how are you? Great. Okay. Great. I'm clear. Okay. All right. Give me just a moment so I can do another share here.